Alright guys, I'm back. Hopefully you're watching for the second time. If not, I'm Rick and this is my new channel I'm starting. It's called What's On Tonight. So what's on tonight is Captain America. That's what I went to see tonight, and it was just wow. That was like the first word I thought of after I saw the movie. From the beginning of the movie, from the outset of the movie, you see crisp, cool combat that just keeps you like watching it like as if you were, as if you were younger. Like it's just really cool combat. It's well choreographed, and I loved it. And that happens within the first 5 minutes, and that pretty much sold me on watching from the first 5 minutes until the end. Not because of just the combat, but that caught me in the beginning, and they didn't let me go into the end, which I loved. So the reason they didn't let me go into the end is because this movie is filled with plot twists. Just when you think you know where you're going, you go the other way, and when you go the other way, then you come back around. It's in a good way. It doesn't make you dizzy with trying to keep up or anything like that. It fits the film, and it's great. Like, I loved it. So where we start off? We start off with Captain America trying to still fit in to the new society that he's been woken up into. We saw a little bit at the end of the Captain America First Avenger. We saw it in the Avengers, and now we're seeing it again in Winter Soldier. He doesn't like the secrecy. He's a soldier. That's what he is. That's what he started off as in the 40s, and that's what he likes. He likes to take orders, and he likes to do the right thing. He's a morally bound character, and we see that strongly in this movie. So he doesn't trust Nick Fury. He doesn't feel comfortable with what they do. They're more of an espionage kind of organization that he just doesn't fit in well with, and you can tell. And that's the major internal conflict that he has going on. So, like I said, while there's very few flat line going on here. It's all action from the beginning to the end. So the small flat lines that you do have is to explain the story, and it's well done, well fit in. So it's not just top down. It flows very nicely, and I liked it. So you do get you do see in the trailer, Nick Fury does get I don't want to give anything away here, but he gets into an altercation with the Winter Soldier, and they show that in the trailer. And from that point on, that's where the film starts to pick up. That's where the story starts to develop. That's where you start to see what is going to happen in the film for the rest of the film. So that's where you're first introduced to the Winter Soldier as well. And he is so cool. I don't know, the trailer showed he was cool, but he's even cooler in the movie where he's doing, like I said, the combat. I don't know if they hired somebody different for the choreography for the combat, but it was remarkably different. It was you could tell the difference from the outset. And the Winter Soldier had some cool hand-to-hand combat. He used a dagger. He also had some gun-slinging action going on. It's very cool. So you get introduced to the Winter Soldier, and he's a pretty mysterious character in the beginning. One thing I always found weird when I watched the Avengers, in their own movies, is like, why can't any of the other Avengers help them? Like, what's really going on there? Like, I mean, there was a scene in Captain America Winter Soldier where they have to like decrypt some encrypted code in order to like try to save the world. That was part of it. They could have easily called Tony Stark. That is literally his thing. That's what he specializes in. That he is a tech genius. But for some reason, they couldn't call him. They couldn't get any help from him. Or when they're outnumbered. In another scene in Captain America, they're outnumbered. They clearly need more manpower. You can call any one of your big muscled friends. Thor, Iron Man, the Hulk, primarily, big muscle power there. I always found that funny. I'm like, what the hell? Like he could help you. Like what could any of the Avengers possibly be doing that they're too busy to help? Like you call up Tony Stark, he's like, yeah, I don't really feel like saving the world today. Kind of busy doing other stuff, even though I'm an Avenger, sorry, hang up. Like, it's I don't know. Like I said, I understand why they can't have them all in the movie at the same time. But I always think I'm like, damn, they could really use Iron Man's help right here, or they could really use the Hulk's help right here. But it's funny. But anyways, that's who the Captain America is going up against, among other things. Like I said, there's plenty of plot twists in this film, so pay attention to that. You'll see it right away. And it's exciting. So the characters, we have We have Chris Evans, which we know is Captain America. He's well established. And we have Scarlett Johansson, which I really liked her in this movie because she had a bigger role. She got some character development going on. We weren't sure. She's obviously mysterious in the other movies, and that's how her character is supposed to be. But it's cool because in this movie they let out a little bit of information to give you more substance to her character, and I really like that because I love Scarlett Johansson and I love Black Widow. But she played a pretty big role. It was her, Captain America, and then her. That's how I felt the movie went. And obviously the antagonist, the Winter Soldier, among other things. And so I feel like she had a pretty big role in this movie. She's probably happy about that, and I was too. But yeah, and then we have the Falcon, played by Anthony Mackie, and I don't know how I felt about it in the beginning. I felt like I just feel like he didn't fit in the beginning, but that was just me guessing it before I saw the movie. In the movie, he fit all right. He was clearly a role player. He was there for some comic relief at times. He's really just a small sidekick on the side. He does have cool scenes towards the end, but that's about it. He really didn't impress me in the film. It really wasn't anything that I noticed. Like I feel like he did not make the film much different. It's essentially what I'm trying to say. He did not make the film much different. So, with that said, let's see some facts. Captain America actually is approximately grossing today. Well, I seen it today. Today's Friday. It approximately grossed $10 million. It's pretty high up there, but still, unfortunately, Iron Man is topping it as well as Thor. And I say unfortunately because I feel like they all should be around the same. I feel like Iron Man gets more pull, which I love Iron Man. I didn't like the third one, but I like Iron Man. And I feel like Iron Man gets more pull because Robert Downey Jr. and things like that. But at the end of the day, they're going to keep making these movies, so I guess it really doesn't matter who makes more and whatnot. It's just a pride thing, I think, after that. But the directing, let's jump into the directing. Directing was interesting in the fact of who directed it. The Russo brothers actually directed it. If you don't know them, they are mostly popular for their production. They produced. They had a hand in producing The Community, which actually is funny because it might explain the cameo appearance of Abed from The Community. I thought it was pretty funny. It wasn't explicitly funny, but I thought it was funny the fact that he showed up, and then I found out later that the reason probably why is because of the directors. And at the end, you do have some cool post-credits scenes. I say cool because I love seeing the post-credit scenes, whether they're good or bad. I feel like they're always good. They give you a little extra information at the end, whether, just a little bit more to want more later. So you have two scenes. You have one where you have a newer bad guy is Baron von Strucker. He's a Hydra member from the Nazi days. I'm not quite sure how he is fitting in there, like time-wise, but I'm sure the people who are up to date on the comic books and stuff like that understand. And we are also introduced to our new heroes, Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch. I've been reading online that they were villains and then they became part of the Avengers. But I'm assuming that they're just going to be a part of the Avengers. But we'll see what happens. That's what's great about those post-credit scenes. You don't really know what's going to happen. So that's the first scene. And what I took away from that is that the new villain has Loki's scepter, which is bad news. That scene propels the Marvel Universe. Now, scene number 2 propels Captain America's story, and that shows the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, at the Smithsonian Museum, and he's visiting the setup that they have with Captain America, and Bucky Barnes is actually in that setup, and he realizes basically that Captain America was not lying, and he realizes he had a past with Captain America. So that pretty much sets up Captain America for his next movie, which they'll probably become allies after some fighting or some talking out for a bigger villain that's going to be in Captain America. So overall, you need to see this movie. It's action-packed. It's probably the best action film of this year so far. It's early, but it's the best film I've seen this year. It really kept me on the edge of my seat with the action, the plot twist, and of course the occasional humor. It kept me engaged. So I really liked it. Go see it. If you like the video, like it, subscribe, comment, just like whatever you want to do. Just or come back and just watch again. I'm really enjoying doing these videos. So